Oh my god, why is everything itching? Hey gents and gals, I hope you're having a dashing day. Welcome back, and today we have story time. And today's story time is a collab with my buddy Simon, who made a video and I thought it was pretty hilarious, and I hope you guys like it too. Here's the link to his video, and it would also be down there in the description. And let's get started. So when I was a kid, I used to just walk around with my mom everywhere. She would take me to school, she would take me shopping, she would take me anywhere. But the funniest things is that she's an older woman. She had me when she was 40. So when I was a young kid, she was about 40 something, almost 50. And it was so funny because everywhere we went, guys would just like look at her and look at me and just stare. I never knew what that was, actually, until one day. This guy came up to her and said, "Good morning," and she was like, "Good morning." And I was with her, and he started talking to her and giving her conversation about God knows what, and it just didn't, like, click me until, like, later on in the conversation that he was actually flirting with my mom. He was young, he was about in his 30s at the time, so he was flirting with her and whatnot, and then the question popped up. "So, you look pretty young to be a grandma." So he decided that he wanted to take a guess and say that she was my grandma. I was shocked because I didn't know anything at this age about like how old you're supposed to be a grandma or a mom or a dad. I barely even knew how old I was. When he decided to ask her that, I was like, Mom, can we go eat now? It was the morning where I was going to school and she was taking me to eat to this restaurant that I'm not going to say the name of because I don't agree with their fatness. But she was going to take me there and I was like, I just want to go eat. And when the guy heard Mom, he was like, "Oh, this is your son?" And she was like, "Yeah, this is my son. And my husband just dropped us off. We're going to go eat before I take him to school." He immediately was like, "Oh, okay. Well, have a great day, ma'am." Left. He booked it out as soon as he found out she was married and had a kid. I just don't understand. Like, my mom was very flattered, I guess you can say, but at the same time she was like, "What is going on?" I just thought it was very hilarious because that was her cougar moment. I did not clickbait you guys that was like literally kind of like a cougar moment, except that she didn't do the cougaring. Some man turned her into a cougar. Fast forward to another subject that is very related to this one. Now we're going to talk about the funny things that grandmas do. And this is hilarious to me because no matter what religion, no matter what culture, no matter what race your grandma is, these grandmas do the same thing just in different ways. Now the first thing we're going to talk about is how they knit random things. Now there always seems to be something that they're knitting, either a scarf, shoes, sweaters, vests. It's hilarious to me. They will start knitting and just keep going and going and going and going. And then you go walk right up to them and are like, "Grandma, what are you knitting?" And their answer will straight up be, "I don't know, but I will see what comes out." I just think it's hilarious because they don't know what they're knitting and they just continue to knit and knit and knit and knit. And once they see that there's a large amount of knitting, they're like, "Oh, this could be a cover for the bed." I just think it's very hilarious that they just kind of randomly knit and knit and knit until something comes out. Like, I know my mom has this little tool in which you knit, but you knit with your hands, so it goes around in like little zigzags, I guess you can say, and something comes out from the bottom. Apparently you can make hats, scarves, sheets with this kind of thing. But she always seems to end up making a scarf because it just comes up in a line, so I don't know. It's really funny though. This one time though, my grandma knitted some shoes. I never like imagined anybody making shoes out of like knitting, out of string, but she legitly made me some house shoes to walk around my house, and they were so comfy. Number 2. So also grandmas cook for a million people. If you walk into a grandma's kitchen and they're cooking, you better expect to like be able to call all your friends and say, hey guys, like, come over. We have food for like 20,000 people. They cook for a lot of people, even though there's like 3 of us in the house or 4 of us in the house. They cook like no other. And now let's talk about flavor, because flavor, there is no other like grandmas. They have their own little recipes. They pass down to the kids like halfway. They're like, yeah, here, put some sprinkle of that. Let me put some stuff over here. They literally don't tell you what their recipes have the full way. Like, they just give you the recipe. And this is passed down by generations, because I know my mom has taught me certain recipes, and she doesn't really tell me, like, all of it. Like, she just tells me in parts, like, oh, here, you're supposed to add this, you're supposed to add that. But she never tells me exactly, like, what goes in there to, like, for it to taste the way that it usually tastes when she does it. Number 3. So, home remedies are a big deal with grandmas. Grandmas love to just, you know, if your stomach hurts, get some tea for it. Your chest hurts, put some Vicks Vapor Rub. It's incredible how many like house remedies they can come up with, or have been passed down from generation to generation. I just think it's very funny how they always seem to have something to fix anything. If you have a broken arm, they'll fix it for you. It's with a home remedy. It's just ridiculous in a way, but at the same time, half of those things actually work. 4, they force you to wear clothes outside. It could be a summer day with bright sun and heat radiating from the ground, and all you want to do is just be shirtless with some shorts on and whatnot, and they literally say, it's gonna get cold tonight, you should take a sweater. I am shirtless, there is heat outside, I'm not gonna be that late to the point where there's supposed to be like snow falling from the skies on a summer day. So I don't know where you're getting the idea that it's gonna get cold, but I don't need a sweater. They literally chase you down the house until they give you that sweater so you can walk out the door with it and you can be safe for the rest of the day. 5, they judge who you're dating. This is the most funniest to me, because I honestly think that they just want you to date within your race, within the opposite sex. They don't want to know anything about anything else. They don't think they even exist. They just want you to date in your area, in your zone, in your little bubble of people. Like, they don't want you to go out of there. Like, I know for sure, I've had instances in which I was like, you know, my cousins would be dating like an African American man, and they would come home with him and show, you know, grandma like, oh, like, this is my boyfriend. And grandma would literally be like, ¿Estás segura? Es un morenito. No me gustan los morenitos para ti. Necesitas buscarte uno de clarito, de blanquito con ojos azules y todo. No morenito, esos no sirven para nada. And my cousins would literally not know what to do. They just want to, like, they want to get swallowed by the ground, because you know, it's really funny how they are still like with old school ways of thinking. It's just not like nowadays thinking, and it's freaking hilarious when they comments like that. 6, and the most funnest one of all, they spoil the crap out of you. When I was a kid, my grandma used to come all the way from Mexico. They would come to LA to visit my dad's sisters first. And then after they like stayed a couple weeks up here, they would go down to Tijuana and visit us. I used to live in Tijuana when I was a little kid. I was raised there. So they would come and visit us. But once they would come and visit us, they would bring a big plastic bag from Toys R Us. I would directly go into the bag and just start digging for stuff. And my parents would be like, calm down, you don't know if that's for you. And so I would just sit there and wait until my grandma and my grandpa decided to tell me, hey, this is for you. Once they did, I would run to that bag, open it, shred it open. It didn't even matter. And they would bring a bag full of toys and clothes from here, LA, for me. And mind you, I was an only child, so this was like a big thing for me, because I was gonna get all these toys and all these clothes for me, and just me. Nobody to share it with. So yeah, they spoil the crap out of you. And lastly, number 7. And this one is the most funniest one of all, because it used to happen to me all the time. So we would be sitting down at the dinner table, and we would just be talking and whatnot, and adults would be having their conversations. I would be just sitting in a chair listening to everything, because apparently you're allowed to listen, but you're not allowed to talk. When my grandparents would make smart remarks towards my parents, especially my dad. At this point, you're just sitting in the table, like, listening to their conversation, and you have no idea what to do when these smart remarks come. So it had happened to me a couple of times where I was just sitting there, and they would make smart remarks, and then I would just be like, you know, try not to laugh, but, like, it wouldn't work, because I would still end up laughing. And it would be really bad, because my parents would just be like... And as soon as I got that look, it would be the most terrifying thing ever, because I knew I was going to get in trouble for laughing at a remark that an adult had made in the adult conversation. Now, being an only child, there was no way of me getting out of this. It was just, the spotlight was on me, so I was going to get in trouble regardless. But yeah, that was my story time. It was my Cougar Mom story time, plus funny things grandmas do. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my buddy Simon. He has a story time on his channel, and it's pretty fun. I honestly think that it's really funny. I hope you guys enjoyed my story time and his story time. And go ahead and subscribe to his channel as subscribe to mine. And don't forget to love a lot, party on, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!